Oh, Bob, I got to start. Susie, just bear with me because El Paso, Texas, do you remember that? El Paso started our friendship, Bob. And truly, that is where I met you, and that's where you told me, better get involved in HAR. I did, and that's why I'm standing up here tonight. Bob, as we all know, getting to where you want to go in life is tough sometimes. And I'm very serious when I say to you that you don't get there by yourself. You have to have people to help you along the way. And you, my dear friend, have helped so many of us in this room. And in our association across this nation you have, and the political leaders you have. You've touched not only our industry, but you've touched our nation. And we love you, we respect you, you're our mentor, you're our friend. Susie, you got a good man, keep him rich, and we congratulate you very much for all the years of success that you've had, and many more to come.
I was president of the Houston Board of Realtors in 1970. I have just a minute to talk about Bob Hale and his career with the Realtors. Positive sense, I'll try to make it. Bob's legal career began in Austin with the Texas Association of Realtors in late 70s, early 80s, and he immigrated to Houston and began a career as a practicing attorney, serving realtors in need of legal advice and/or for their defense. Since then, he's run the gauntlet of realtor activities, good and bad. He became to be the looked upon as legal counsel for the Houston Board of Realtors, Houston Association of Realtors. By then, Bob knew too much about the realtor fold to turn him loose on the streets. So he was chosen to be, by the search committee, to succeed the late Tom Morton as the board's executive officer. This was a time when realtors and anything pertaining to real estate were prime targets for the trial bar. Texas Deceptive Trade Practices Act put realtors at risk in every transaction for every known and unknown reason and every known and unknown defect. Bob's legal expertise was in the forefront of means to tilt the scales back to a level playing field. He supports TREPAC with his leadership and his own treasury and works unsparingly to get realtors out of the repair business of appliances, structures, or what have you by changes to the mandatory contracts. It's done, and with Bob's fingerprints all over it. Bob's had his critics, but his missionary skills converted them to Bob's size. I can take credit for only one thing in Bob's life. Bob, do you remember San Pesos? Well, no, it doesn't matter. He doesn't remember you either. At a TAR meeting in Lowe's Hotel in Dallas, just before the evening banquet, Bob and I had some time for a drink. I ordered my standard gin martini straight up. Bob had never had one and ordered one also. He liked it. And I sent him a copy of from a magazine, an article from the New York magazine, identifying the trader or the bartender really, who was the perfection, superb as the classic Marshall preparation. Now, on Bob's next trip to New York, he sought out the Fidelia Italian restaurant on East 58th Street in New York. Bob, do you remember Sam Pesos now? Well, Bob and Sam Pesos, the bartender, struck up a convivial conversation and friendship that resulted in Bob's ordering a dry gin martini up, and then another, and then another. No wonder he doesn't remember San Pesos. I apologize, Bob, for not warning you of the lethal consequences of one too many. Bob, this crowd is testimony to our appreciation of your leadership that continues today, even as constant changes affect our business. You've brought the Houston Association of Realtors to the country's leader in innovation and in professionalism. I thank you personally and salute you for this as well. There's one other thing I need to do. It wouldn't be fair not to. Let me be sure. I could not say any of this without adding thank you to Susie for sharing Bob's wit, wisdom, and craft, and living with a workaholic. Thank you.
It is my pleasure to welcome the 1993 President Lynn Czar and HCR 1991 President John Nichols. Gentlemen.
Mr. Hale, congratulations on a well-deserved evening, and this is a great guy we got in front of us here. It's been 20 years since I was president of HAR, and I have many fond memories and then some not-so-fond memories of my term, beginning as president-elect when, at Mr. Hale's urging, I had to spend Christmas Eve in front of a bunch of news cameras trying to explain how someone got a hold of a lockbox key and an agent code and was able to get in to and burglarize a few homes in the area. From that point, a large part of my presidency the next year was consumed by the evaluation and the transition to a new lockbox system. I'll never forget the day that we were in our conference room about to sign a contract for a brand new system with a new provider after months of evaluation, and we decided to try one more test. We found out that the fastest way to open a lockbox was not with the key, it was with an ordinary screwdriver. So needless to say, we had to go back to the drawing boards, and I will give Super credit because Super got on the job and they fixed it real quick and we were able to move on. So 20 years ago, actually about this time of year, we rolled out the Super. We had our Super lockbox rollout, and I am very proud to say that it went a hell of a lot better than Obamacare. Bob, I'm sure I speak for all the past presidents, and I really do, I'm sure, just to say thank you for all the support, the guidance, and the knowledge you provided us while we were presidents and during our years with the association. You made us all look good, and we have you to thank for that, and we are so glad that you are at the top of the list of the associations in the country, not just the real estate associations, but all associations, all trade associations, and you're at the top of the list. And although New Braunfels is known for its German heritage, they serve up some good Planters punches, which I know you also like too. So whenever we can get you and Susie to come, we will pull them out. Thank you.
Good evening, Bob and guests. I know Bob's pretty worried right now because, as usual, I saw everyone else had notes, and I didn't have a clue what I was going to say when I came up here, as I never have. So some things don't ever change, do they, Bob? But, you know, I listened and saying I didn't know what I was going to talk about, and as I listened to some of the previous speakers, freelance from the floor, and I think I could piggyback on almost any story that was told. And Grant, one struck home with me when you said on the first road trip. And I never will forget my first road trip with Bob Hale. We were coming back from Austin from some TAR function, and we were zipping down Highway 71 on the way back to Houston. You know, Bob's always been a great mentor and sharing ideas, and you know, the sharing comes with exchanging of ideas and what will work and what won't work. But anyway, we're zipping down Highway 71, and he's coming up on this cattle truck. I mean, it's loaded with cattle. And of course, I grew up, you know, in working ranch and so forth. And I told him, I said, Bob, you may want to slow down and not get too close to that cattle truck. Well, he didn't pay any attention to me. And so he zipped right up behind his cattle truck. And of course, y'all all know what happened. All I can do, you know, make a long story short, I'm sure glad that I didn't work at that car wash where he took his car, but you can imagine the things they had to say. But anyway, Bob, I can't tell you what a great ride it was. Thank you so much for your friendship, and thank you for everything that you've done for the Houston Association of Realtors. We wouldn't be where we are today without you. And I think that I, with all confidence, can speak on behalf of 25,000 members when I say we love you, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage 2009 Chair Margie Dorrance and 2006 Chair Lorraine. Who are you going to believe?
You went George.
Oh, I'm sorry.
George.
Oh, sure. Thanks a lot. Yeah. All right, let's try this again. Good evening. Let's work right through this. Okay, please welcome.
I'm sorry, Jeremy. Please welcome George Stevens, the 1998 president, and HAR 2002 chairman, Shad Bogany. Come, gentlemen.
Thank you, I think. Bob has been described as a visionary by numerous people tonight, and he truly is a visionary. I have two stories to tell. When we decided to get the entire membership of HAR during my chairmanship to get connected, Bob, you and I both believed that HAR.com was destined to become the association to emulate nationwide. That became true. We only got 6,000, as I recall, but it started the basic HAR.com mania, I think, and it was a good thing because it turned out to be accurate. The second story is when we took on the challenge of getting the membership to pay NLS dues instead of just the real estate brokers. We had a number of town hall meetings, and I really thought after the first one I was going to be fortunate to survive the next 3 or 4. They were rough. But that's just to show that we are all extremely fortunate to have Bob Hale, because he is the truest visionary I could possibly imagine. Thank you, Bob.
Hi, Bob. You know, I want to thank you for your mentorship, your friendship. I'm here today because of you. And I saw a quote the other day, and I just wanted to share this with you. Leadership is about leading your members and followers to reality. And that's what you've done for this association. I appreciate you. I can go way back. I've got a couple of little memories I want to just share with you. I want to take the time and say I remember the day we were sitting on the River Walk. We were sitting down, and I was visioning this L.A. law deal. You were smoking a cigar, I was smoking a cigar, and we were sitting there thinking, and it was, I don't even know why we were in San Antonio. I think it was for San Antonio Association, but we were sitting there doing the cigar thing and drinking the bourbon. I said, man, this is like L.A. law. And so that is a memory that I truly, truly remember. The other thing I wanted to share with all of you, you know, I was not a wine person until I met Bob Hale. And my favorite wine before I met Bob Hale was MD 2020. And some of you may have remember that. But I want to thank you, Bob, for moving me from MD 2020 to Silver Oak to Dariouche. And so I truly, truly want to thank you. You've been my friend. You've been my mentor. When things were crumbling around me, I would call you. You say, hey, this is how you handle it. I go in and do it the way you told me to do it, and it worked out just the way you said it would work out. The other thing I want to do is share with you, Susie. Thank you for putting my face all over the country on your newsletter as being your model. And I truly, truly appreciate that. And Bob and Susie, you guys have been great friends. You've been through everything with me, and thank you so much.